After all the yards of column inches and all the talk on radio and on TV up and down the country, it's time for the action. And it is Kerry who are, after winning the toss, they will play from left to right in the first half. Great atmosphere. Brian Crowe in charge this afternoon. He is a company quartermaster sergeant in Cavan, or CQMS. Little or no breeze around. It's Kerry with 33 titles, Mayo with 3. We're looking for any switches or changes. And I'm looking for Kieran Donaghy. He has got into full forward, been marked there by David Heaney, as anticipated. Brian Crowe was in charge of the quarter-final last year. He's in charge now of the All-Ireland final itself. And straight away it is Tommy Griffin laying it off to Mark O'Shea, picking out Paul Galvin here now. Thomas O'Shea letting it rip. First early ball in there, David Heaney guarding it well. Played out here as far as Keith Higgins had a very tough semi-final. This is out as far as Aidan Higgins. A measured build-up as per usual by Mayo. Once again David Heaney, the captain, hoping to bring Sam back over the Shannon. Aidan Higgins. Here's Ronan McGarity. All Mayo, all their passes, and it breaks down there with one little slack pass. Galvin intercepting. Mike Frank Russell letting fly, and Mike Frank Russell putting it over the bar. First attack by Kerry after all the huffing and the puffing to get it out of defence by Mayo. And Kerry show just how lethal they can be. And Mike Frank Russell with 13 points now for the championship campaign so far this year.
Yeah, that's a real gift, I must say, to Kerry. A very, very bad bit of over-elaboration by the Mayo defence that time. Should have cleared their lines, got caught up in a congested area, and again, Michael Frank Russell punished it admirably.
Kieran MacDonald, I've noticed, has been marked by Aidan O'Mahony. It means that Mark O'Shea is perhaps going to be given a freer role. Seamus Moynihan up along towards Declan O'Sullivan, laid off again here to Galvin, beating the attempted block, letting it in high. Fisted around there. Donaghy is going to be a big threat in there, and it's something that Mayo are going to have to cope with. They've had 3 weeks to prepare for that particular task, a mighty one at that. Nallen out as far as Ger Brady, who got 4 points when these teams met in the league. It was the opening match of the season, really, played on a Saturday night back at the very beginning of February. Here we are, mid-September, the last scheduled game of the football season. Kevin O'Neill dropping it in, but dropping it into the goalkeeper's hands. Diarmuid Murphy. Well, it's the one thing that Mickey Moran will not have wanted, to give that slack ball in there to Murphy, because it allows Kerry to start vigorously out of midfield. Tommy Griffin letting it rip once again in there. Gooch peeling away from his marker, getting out ahead of Dermot Geraghty. Keith Higgins now tries to come in to close him. Paul Galvin. Nice controlled play, but not a good finish by Galvin. Good approach play, not the best of finishes, however.
Yeah, a lot of gaps there appearing in the Mayo defence already. Paul Galvin very, very prominent. Aidan Higgins needs to get tighter to him. And again, a lot of indecision with that last high ball that came in between Dermot Geraghty and the fullback David Heaney.
Pat Hart waiting for the kick out, because these kick outs have been practiced time and again, and Hart did get to the break of that one. Touches it down here to Patter Gardner, sweeping onto it quickly. Hart back to receive the return pass. 45 metres out from the Kerry goal. MacDonald can be such an influence. As usual, giving a very liberal role in the side. In for Conor Mortimer. Trying to hold off the challenge. It's an unfair challenge, a jersey pull. And that's going to be a free in, and the man who's indicted is Tom O'Sullivan. It's taken very quickly. Saved by the goalkeeper, Diarmuid Murphy. Well, shades there of the kind of start that Mayo made 2 years ago in the final. Alan Dillon on that occasion was the one who was in. Kevin O'Neill was trying to latch onto that last one. Mark O'Shea. Here's Dara O'Shea. Galvin just holding it up, waiting for players to move into position. Sean O'Sullivan. He's added very significantly to the half-forward line of Kerry this year. Almost an old-fashioned style of play. Into Donaghy. Having difficulty with him immediately. A little block on it that time from Declan O'Sullivan. Breaks out as far as Geraghty. And Dermot Geraghty seeks out and finds Ronan McGarity. Here's James Nallen, but the ball is a slack one, and Tommy Griffin onto it straight away. Any kind of slack pass, loose pass whatsoever coming out of defence, and Kerry are very, very sharp this afternoon. O'Mahony into Declan O'Sullivan, held up there by Pat Hart. Low inside this time, little bit of variety. The gooch, the layoff there as far as Donaghy, the drag down, free in, foul committed by Ger Brady.
Yeah, they're blitzing Mayo at the moment. Their movement is fantastic. Again, the half-forward line is getting on the ball a lot. And again, Mayo should have been probably a little bit more composed at the far side of the ground. Just watch the free here, conceded by David Heaney and by Ger Brady. But at the far side, Conor Mortimer should have put the ball over the bar rather than trying a quick one.
Well, it's almost as if the Mayo backs haven't anticipated this kind of whirlwind start that you would normally expect from Kerry.
Yeah, but I think, in fairness, a lot more pressure should be coming on outside the field. Again, very clever play, must be said, by Mortimer. The ball just a little bit overcooked. O'Neill most unlucky, but a great save by Derek Murphy.
This is it again here. Kevin O'Neill from the Nafiana club. Good save by Dermot Murphy. Just struck out the leg, did well. Donaghy's okay. Big man who plays for the Tralee Tigers, and Mike Frank Russell looking for his second point of the match. This from some 25-26 metres out. On a still day, he's hit it inside the post and he's put it over the bar. So Kerry have made the perfect start. They've got the only 2 points so far, and their goalkeeper has saved a near certain goal at the other end. David Clark, 23-year-old goalkeeper, getting good length into it. Hart jumping, and that's once again taken brilliantly, but it's not by Darragh O'Shea this time, but by his partner, Tommy Griffin. Sean O'Sullivan, Moynihan, the angled ball across. They do that time and again. Cooper, the layoff here for Declan O'Sullivan, dished off inside to Donaghy, back, goal! Mayo ripped apart. Declan O'Sullivan, the team captain, justifying his recall to the side. A goal in the 7th minute. And Declan O'Sullivan combining with Donaghy. But watch Donaghy's role in this. It was central. It was all set up initially after the movement by Seamus Moynihan. Donaghy, a little feedback there to the man coming through from the centre, and that's a 4th championship goal for the man from Drummond Pierces. A little 1-2 and a real killer blow from Mayo. 1-2 to no score. Well, now this is really testing Mayo, because they wanted that kind of start. MacDonald back battling. Higgins, Billy Joe Padden played inside to Hart. Griffin playing, dragging him, fouling him, free kick.
Yeah, the problem for Mayo is coming in their half-back line at the moment. The 3 half-backs are very, very loose. Paddy Gardner is loose and O'Sullivan. On the other wing, Aidan Higgins isn't getting close at all to Paul Galvin. And again, at centre-half also, James Nallen is struggling.
This is lobbed in here once again, taken down with difficulty by Mark O'Shea, but he did enough on it to play it to the other corner back, Tom O'Sullivan. They are so resourceful, these Kerry backs, that any one of them is quite comfortable at right half, full back, wherever you want to have to play. Darragh O'Shea kicking the free quickly. Again, it's Tommy Griffin. There were suggestions in the build-up that he might be the one to be in danger of losing his place. He started really well. Inside for Kieran Donaghy. What a beginning for him! What a shot! This could be a rout! Minutes are gone, and Kerry have got a second goal, and Donaghy has got a second for the campaign. Is there any way to stop him? Using his physique, using his hands so well, but showing that he's got subtlety in front of goal as well. Tigerishly taking it in, nothing Heaney can do, and a rasping shot past David Clark, who's beaten for the second time. That is an enormous body blow for Mayo, for all neutrals, but in the Kingdom, well, what's Mickey Moran thinking, I wonder, at this stage?
Well, 8 minutes gone, 8 points down. Again, Mayo with it all to do, but again, they're just incapable of dealing with this high ball into the edge of the square at the moment. And again, the cornerbacks also are very loose. There's just general pandemonium in the back line.
Pandemonium indeed. Tomas O'Shea racing after him, Billy Joe Padden laying it off to Galvin. beyond Donaghy this time. Maybe it's just a decoy because it runs kindly for Colin Cooper, having a bit of work to do. Good movement by Mike Frank Russell. His confidence will be high. Nice ball inside. Griffin coming into it. And that time the contest is fair, the referee decides. 50-50 challenge. No foul recognised there. So it's Potter Gardner. Mayo need a score, big time. Out as far as McDonald, their spiritual leader. On it goes to Keith Higgins. His captain, the under-21s to victory already. That was back in May. Here in September, the kick is high. It's very wayward. And it's one that Higgins and the rest of Mayo really badly needed.
Very much, Jared. They needed a score there to settle him. Again, a great attack that time. Just watch again the goal coming. Again, Donaghy feels it in front of David Heaney, shakes him off, and again, fantastic finish. It's a real case of Gulliver in the land, and it really puts at the moment the way that ball is going in.
Do you think David Heaney is going to be able to stay with Kieran Donaghy?
It's going to be very, very difficult for him because the pressure isn't coming on out the field at all. They're having a free rein at delivering ball with quality into Kieran Donaghy.
Well, if that supply line continues, it's going to get worse. Tomas O'Shea breaks here nicely, picked up by Declan O'Sullivan, playing it back here to the Gooch once again. Cross here to Sean O'Sullivan. They're having a field day. It's target practice, and O'Sullivan from Cremon kicks his first. Man, was in Australia last year, but he's come back to make a very, very important contribution. And there's a change immediately. James Nallen, who I noticed was injured, is replaced by David Brady. Nallen appeared to be injured in the build-up to the second goal by Kieran Donaghy, and he was effectively out of the action as the build-up to that was continuing.
Very interesting, actually. David Brady's going full back on Donaghy, so there'll be a real tussle now between them. That'll become a very physical contact.
Well, they had to take drastic and immediate action, but I think Nallen has gone off for an injury. Kerry come again. Tomas O'Shea to his brother Dara. Trying to pick out the best possible pass. Dermot Geraghty holding off the challenge there of Aidan O'Mahony. MacDonald again playing very, very deep. That's a good ball. Billy Joe Padden. Mayo needing a score or two. Padden takes the extra yard out of it. Why didn't he kick it? I'm sure everybody is saying.
Yeah, and there was a great run that time from Gerard Brady. If Padden had seen him, he was right up in support with a score on his mind.
Tommy Griffin riding the challenges, breaking the challenges. Nicely ahead by O'Mahony this time. Mike Frank Russell. Again, alarming gaps. Aidan O'Mahony cutting inside. Another one. This could be even worse than 2004 unless Mayo can do something very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is becoming an embarrassment, actually. That time again, just watch it again. The space that he has this time, Aidan O'Mahony to put it over the bar. Again, this is alarming from a Mayo point of view. And I notice now Dermot Geraghty's gone down injured. He's been struggling since the beginning of the game. It'll be no surprise if he's replaced.
Well, Kerry so far have had 7 attacks and they've scored from 6 of those. Mayo have already replaced James Nallen. We're only in the 13th minute. As Martin says, Dermot Geraghty might well have to be replaced. Physio's out and the team doctor Fergal Rowan, Lara Coyne is the physio. Well, that's the first of the substitutions, and as you heard, David Brady has gone into full back. Well, Geraghty wants to continue.
Yeah, I think the overwhelming pace of the Kerry attack is destroying Mayo at the moment. But again, Mayo are helping their own causes because there's a complete absence of pressure around the middle of the field, and their backs are just incapable of matching the runs that the Kerry attack are making.
Well, the face of John Mahon there tells the story, I think. Anna was in charge when they were in the last All-Ireland final 2 years ago. Kerry came here meaning business, wanting to justify their favouritism, which is so hard to do, as we all know, in all different sports.
Yeah, but just again, look at the space, at that side of the field for ball being delivered in, Ger.
But they've played the game so well, Kerry. They have recognised that there are weaknesses in the Mayo defence, and they are trying to expose it hugely. Little argument as to whose ball it's going to be. Molde Stegan on the far side from Laois, the linesman, signalling that it's going to be a Line ball for Mayo. And the referee is bringing the ball forward, and I think he's ending up giving a free kick. Aidan Higgins from Charlestown, ready to take. Ger Brady. Well, can the Bradys make the contribution that is required now, having given Kerry an absolute monstrous head start of 10 points? Aidan Higgins finding Kevin O'Neill. Not a bad ball. This is Alan Dillon right on the end line, cutting it back, but nobody there for it except Tom O'Sullivan. Little unlucky that time. Galvin once again. Beautiful ball ahead to Sean O'Sullivan. Nobody's marking him. Ridiculous amounts of space are being given to the Kerry players. Playing it in towards Donaghy. There's what looked like a push on the part of David Brady, but the referee, maybe he sees the scoreline and he says, come on, play on. Billy Joe Padden. Ball coming back to Kieran MacDonald. The absence of a free kick just moments ago there for that tussle between Donaghy and Brady still has the crowd buzzing. Alan Dillon here. Hand passed inside to Mortimer. Mayo really need his predatory skills. Unable to cut inside. Kerry hounding him, forcing him back. Billy Joe Padden. Little chip ahead to MacDonald, breaking it this time. In comes Aidan Higgins, dishing it off here to O'Neill. Goal! Kevin O'Neill! 16 minutes are gone. Hold the obituary, it's not over yet. Kevin O'Neill with a very timely intervention here. His third goal in the championship. Aidan Higgins was magnificent in his part in all of that. It might have been a free at the other end. It's a goal for Mayo down the other, and now we might have a bit of a match. 2-4 to a goal.
Well, credit Kevin O'Neill's calmness that time. He just held it up for that split second, drew Diarmuid Murphy, slotted it to the net. That's a wonderful response and badly needed by Mayo.
Well, now Kerry will try and lift the tempo of the game once again. They've been playing at a very high tempo so far. Paul Galvin, that route one ball in towards Donaghy. Again he looks at the referee. Again he protests that he was being held. I must say he might have had a better case in the last challenge.
Well, I think Brady's cuteness, in all fairness, just watch the goal again. A great penetration by Aidan Higgins. Again, just holding it up slightly long enough to Kevin O'Neill that time. Watch the assist. Good pass. Kevin O'Neill's superb goal. Well played.
It ends up being a free out for Mayo. David Clark, midway through this first half. Certainly can't say you don't get scores when Kerry and Mayo meet in championship matches. Kerry doing most of it so far. Beautifully taken down. Mark O'Shea. And as far as the roaming, Paul Galvin. Almost shows a wonderful appetite. People tend to highlight his belligerent nature, but he's a very good footballer, Galvin. So too O'Sullivan. Dropped there by Sean O'Sullivan at the worst possible moment. David Brady instead. Comes out here as far as Alan Dillon. Aidan Higgins now. That challenge there is by Donaghy. MacDonald playing very deep. I think Mayo people would prefer him to have pushed forward more in towards the half-forward line. Again, they work it back and try to create something. Patter Gardner is involved. Little fist ahead here towards Pat Hart. Kevin O'Neill, Mayo's goal scorer. Delicate little chip across here to Conor Mortimer. Kerry looking around to see where the runners were coming from. Mortimer, a little block that time. Very good block. It's by Tom O'Sullivan. Tried to wrestle his way free that time, and he wrestles his way free of the challenge.
Again, a great run that time by Patter Gardner into the attack that Conor Mortimer didn't pick up. Again, the pass was on, the score was there. Pass wasn't given, unfortunately.
Long time to go in this game yet. Sean O'Sullivan. Kerry work it out as far as Mark O'Shea. Back from Declan O'Sullivan. Tommy Griffin making a move forward, confronted by two Mayo defenders. One of those defenders is a half forward at this stage, Billy Joe Padden. The Gooch inside the 45-metre line. Mike Frank back once again here to Sean O'Sullivan, having a go with the left, not quite on target. That's just Kerry's second wide of this first half.
Yeah, again, to be fair, Mayo are imposing more pressure on the Kerry outfield players at the moment. But again, I still think that their backline is a little bit kind of loose. The two wing halves in particular, again, both Aidan Higgins and Paddock Gardner need to get tighter to both Galvin and to Sean O'Sullivan. They're particularly adept at picking out Donaghy on the edge of the square, and they've started very well.
Well, I think the Mayo fans will be hoping and praying that Kerry have had their best spell in this match in the opening 15 minutes. There's still more to come. Paul Galvin. Oh, O'Sullivan has options inside. The Gooch is waiting. So too Donaghy. Back once again to Galvin under pressure, and he kicks it over the bar. They had so many options that time. Paul Galvin was involved in the build-up. Declan O'Sullivan there as well. Galvin the finisher.
But again, nobody's coming back whatsoever that time on Declan O'Sullivan or on Galvin when they were coming through. The Mayo backline is totally wide open at the moment. It's just, I'm surprised that they're not playing a sweeper in front of their full backline to try and close up the area there.
Well, this is what at times Armagh were doing.
Well, it was the blueprint created by both Armagh and Tyrone that worked against Kerry. Mayo have ignored it so far to their detriment. Mayo
have only won 2 out of 8 kickouts so far. They've won this one 3 out of 9, and Billy Joe Padden holding on to it. Back to McGarity. Not a good ball. Easily taken by Michael McCarthy. Again, it's controlled, it's measured. Never too intricate. Mixture of hand passing and foot passing. Moynihan involved, trying to keep it away from Ger Brady. Galvin again. They are lording it over Mayo. Moynihan. Brady breaking it. The scraps this time are picked up by Pat Hart. Out to Gardner. MacDonald again here, but still very deep. Hart, bit of work to do. Took his eye off it because he saw O'Mahony coming in. Now to Moss O'Shea. Again, he has so many different options when he wants to play the ball to a free player. Sign of a confident team. Well on top of their opponents. Donaghy, bad pass that time. Coming in to take it, Keith Higgins. Again, looking for options. Kerry are getting the easier passes because there's so many support players. More difficult for Keith Higgins to find a colleague down there. A real hit and hope one, and the Kerry backs just seizing on everything. So dominant, so confident. Galvin. Out to Moynihan. You wonder who's marking him. He's supposed to be doing the marking. Griffin again. It's a procession. All heading towards the canal end goal. Dished off there and held somehow by Mike Frank Russell. Declan O'Sullivan leaving it out there for Colm Cooper from the Dr. Croaks club in Killarney. Enterprisingly in. And that time David Brady does well initially. Did well to hold off Kieran Donaghy. And then the second time when Sean O'Sullivan was coming. McGarity, long ball. Again the ball is given away to a Kerry player. Ridiculous. Good measured play once more. O'Shea finding his brother, the older one, Dara. Not the best of finishes.
Well, it must be said with the Mayo player at the moment, there's so little link-up. The passing is very poor with both, in particular with the foot. And again, in an awful lot of situations where they are playing the hand pass, they're playing it to a static player.
Kieran Donaghy is down, requiring some attention at the moment. I'll tell you what, Mayo needs some joined-up football.
Oh, very much so. Again, it must be said though that since David Brady has come in, he has certainly put the shackles on Donaghy. Okay, he's got away with 1 or 2 little pulls and that kind of thing, it must be said, but at least he has contested the ball with a bit of physicality that wasn't there in the first couple of minutes. But I go back again to the half-back line. The half-back line is very, very, very loose.
You wonder how long Mayo will continue without introducing another sub or two. Well, the triumvirate there of Mickey Moore and John Morrison and Kieran Gallagher just considering their options. Donaghy is okay. Aidan O'Mahony's role so far in staying with Kieran MacDonald, I think, is very central in this game, because he's back. He's making life very, very difficult for the playmaker for Mayo. Clark. This time it bounces off the legs of McGarrity. Just bad luck that time, and again seized on by Kerry. Straight to Mike Frank Russell from Tomas O'Shea. Inside towards Donaghy. This time gets the measure of Brady and a little chip, and it's over the bar. Goal and a point now for Kieran Donaghy from 2 shots at the target. What a season he's been having when you consider that he was sent off in the drawn Munster final against Cork, didn't play in the replay, picked at full forward, and Kerry's season transformed after that. They lead 2-6 to a goal.
Yeah, it's far too easy altogether for Kerry at the moment, and again just a lack of sharpness, a lack of tackling in the Mayo backline is dreadful. Not getting out in front of the men, too much space being given also to the players out the field to deliver, and just trouble all round.
Hard to know if you want to bring on the forwards like Aidan Kilcoyne and Andy Moore and the obvious ones, but because it's so difficult getting the ball beyond halfway. Here's David Heaney. Happier out around centre half back. Again, the pass is a wretched one. Michael McCarthy scooping it away to Seamus Moynihan. They're absolutely having a field day. Mike Frank Russell. Now O'Mahony. Dara O'Shea. And holding it up here, Mike Frank Russell. Tommy Griffin. Big lob in, missed by everybody, not by the Gooch. Little dummy, and it's off the post. Mercifully from that point of view, from a Mayo point of view, the first time, but the second time, he is absolutely lethal. Ruthless finishing by Colm Cooper. The Gooch gets his first score. It's 3-6 to a goal. There are 26 minutes gone. Is there any way back whatsoever for Mayo?
No, that's game over, Jared. Just watch that again. Again, a very good save by David Clark. But again, Keith Higgins very easily rounded by Gooch. Keeps his head, sees the gap at the near post, drills it low into the net.
Let's go down to the sideline. Marty Morrissey.
Yeah, well, the news on the sideline isn't great from a Mayo perspective. They're in deep shock here, and they've had about 5 or 6 meetings. John Morrison, Mickey Moore and Kieran Gallagher, and they have so many problems that they genuinely, I don't think, really know what to do at this stage.
We're in deep shock up here as well, I think. That comes back to Billy Joe Padden. It might be Mayo's second score. It is. 10 minutes between scores. Billy Joe Padden's first. 3-6 to 1-1. This was the pick-up. That was the shot by Billy Joe. Long way to go. Long way back as well.
Yeah, just at the moment they need a few more scores like that, Jared. You know, Mayo, again, we're repeating ourselves, are lacking in direction and purpose at the moment. Kerry are so sharp, so incisive and so clinical when it comes to finishing.
Brian Crowe, as you can see, going in to talk to his umpires. Bit of jersey holding, I suppose. Amazing that 6 Kerry forwards have scored so far in this game. It's one of those afternoons, and the referee is calling back for particular attention. Tom O'Sullivan from Rathmore, and the Army man is going to speak to the Garda. Referee speaking to the left cornerback, warning him about his future conduct. The umpire has seen it. Well, on the basis of all of this, as the paperwork is carried on by Brian Crowe, you just begin to wonder, how did Mayo beat Dublin?
Well, that's the thing. None of the spirit, none of the abandon that was evident against Dublin is there. But it must be said again, Kerry aren't Dublin again. They're going for the 34th All-Ireland title. They're playing today with a swagger and a belief in themselves. And I suppose at the beginning of the championship, Kerry asked who they'd most like to meet in the final of the top 10 teams. They might have said Mayo because of their past record against Mayo.
Kerry have varied the game so much and varied it so profitably. MacDonald, wherever he goes, Aidan O'Mahony's there as well. Here's Kevin O'Neill. Oh, the angle kick dangerously in that time, and Diarmuid Murphy did well. Got it out to Mark O'Shea. Oh, there was quite a swivel on that kick coming in from Kevin O'Neill. Sean O'Sullivan now. What they can do is they will at the other end of the field. Griffin into Donaghy. This is almost embarrassing. Galvin. That's wide.
Yeah, but again, go back to that little cameo there, Joe. There's no pressure being put on any Kerry player when he gets the ball. Mayo players are standing off them in every position of the field at the moment. They're just a collective malaise at the moment, and it's just, they're going to be routed completely. Just watch Gucci's great save by Clark. Comes back to Gucci. Just watch his composure here. He ignores Donaghy's presence, slips it into the near post. Fine goal.
And that's Gooch scoring in what many people regard as a moderate season, which in truth it has been for him. Here he is again on the day when he really wants to produce it. Back in once again to Galvin. Players waiting inside. Moynihan fancying his chances. I think they're all fancying their chances. Seamus Moynihan, on the day he is playing his 61st championship match, scores only his 5th point ever in championship football. A career that began back in 1992, and a certain Munster final loss to Clare in the Munster final.
Yeah, you've got to admire the strength, the running power, the purpose of Kerry at the moment. Their variation in their play is just magnificent. It's not just one way of playing. They have 3 or 4 different options, and they're just destroying Mayo.
The one that's going through my mind, Martin, is that Kerry at this stage will probably have a tougher match in training. Backs against A versus B. What can Mickey Moran do? I remember here reading that he made his debut as a player for Derry against Mayo in National League when he was just an 18-year-old. Kerry once again tormenting, destroying Mayo's ambition and hopes. Ronan McGarity. And this time the physical side of Darragh O'Shea evident, and Brian Crowe nipping in fairly quickly.
Yeah, there's another complaint I'd have about Mayo at the moment. They're not playing enough forwards in their regular positions. There's no shape to the forward line at all. There's a one-man forward line in there, young Mortimer. There's no real support for him when the ball does come in or breaks off him.
Well, 3-4 minutes to go to half-time. And that is the notebook shown to Darragh O'Shea. Mark O'Shea is down injured. Straight away, team doctor Dave Genney in to attend to him. Sarah Hobbs is the physio. This is a free kick on the 45-metre line to Kieran MacDonald. Ball was moved forward a little bit, I think, for arguing the toss, and that's gone over the bar. First pointed free by Kieran MacDonald. They will continue to cheer and continue to hope and believe that it's possible. With another 35 minutes to come after this, but it has been agony for the fans, absolute agony going through all of this. After 2004, even last year they were made improvements in the quarter-final. There were only 3 between them at the end, although that wasn't, I think, a fair reflection of the trend of the game. Kerry were much the better team, but at least there was an indication there that Mayo were making progress. Beautifully held by Frank Russell against Dermot Geraghty. Then looking for options. Nothing terribly flamboyant. Paul Galvin lobbed in. You've got that access inside, and when you have that opportunity to play it to Donaghy, they let fly. O'Sullivan playing it back here, and there it was Aidan O'Mahony fancying his chances of getting another one.
Yeah, in fairness, Kieran MacDonald came back that time, exerted the pressure on the kicker of the ball, and maybe forced the wide.
5 wides for Kerry in the first half. They've had the lion's share of the play. Whatever about our panel discussion at half-time, I tell you, I'd like to have a camera and a microphone in the Mayo dressing room. That's where the fun and games should be. Here's Keith Higgins. MacDonald. That's a push, surely. Oh, seems so from here. There's an advantage anyway, and there's another goal chance, and it's rolled in. Pat Hart gives Mayo another little bit of hope. His first ever goal in championship football. It comes in the 34th minute. It might have been Kevin O'Neill's. There was a definite push in the build-up, but the referee allowed it continue, and O'Neill fed hard, who finished splendidly. 3-7 to 2-2. For the record, there are 8 points between them in points. It's 16 to 8.
Yeah, credit Kevin O'Neill once again on that. His calmness when he received the ball from Hart that time. He didn't try the impossible. Fed Hart, easy goal.
2 minutes of stoppage time will be added on. And Billy Joe Padden, have Mayo left it too late? They will think not. MacDonald, if he can kick another one. Will it curl off the post? Here's another goal! What an amazing match! Kevin O'Neill in the 35th minute. The lead is down to 5 points. What an amazing All-Ireland football final. It's 3-7, 3-2, absolutely crazy. Somehow the ball came down off the post from MacDonald's shot, and credit Kevin O'Neill, the ace predator, on hand. 5 points the margin when Kerry should be out of sight.
Wonderful Kevin O'Neill, absolutely wonderful again. Right place, right time. Credit Mayo's Heart, never say die attitude. Should be out the gate at this stage, but there's making a fight of it. Great stuff.
A 6-goal All-Ireland final, and we haven't even reached half-time. Crazy stuff. Galvin, Declan O'Sullivan trying to bring a little bit of order, restore their sense of superiority, and Declan O'Sullivan kicks it over to match the goal he got after 7 minutes. So 6 points the difference, and still another minute and a half of stoppage time to be played. Lovely relaxed style, good technique by O'Sullivan. He's a great footballer.
Yeah, they have to address their half-back line though, Ger. It's far too loose. They're allowing far too much room to the Kerry attack.
I think they need to build the kind of a Berlin Wall I was talking about earlier, which has been up and gone since they last won, Sam. Wasn't looking too good a while ago. It's still not looking great, but there's a possibility, because it's only a 6-point game, and Kerry are very loose in their own full back line. But Mayo have been wretched in theirs. But the half back line of Mayo in particular, probably the big problem area. That's Patter Gardner, part of that half back line up there as an attacking force. This is Mark O'Shea bundled over, and the referee and linesman give the line ball to Mayo. It's taken quickly, 2 against 1 here. Billy Joe Padden beaten in the air there by Seamus Moynihan. Away he comes, surging forward once again. He's got a support player, it's Sean O'Sullivan. Again, 2 Mayo players are after him, checking his stride. Little block on it well by David Heaney. Now 2 Mayo players. Suddenly there's renewed heart by Mayo. The game was out of their grasp, but full credit to them. They've shown character. They still have time. From a game's point of view, what a pity they gave such an alarming lead to Kerry. I think they were about 10 points up at one stage. That's the end of a bizarre first half. Kerry destroyed Mayo, but Kevin O'Neill with 2 goals in the 16th and the 35th minute has given the Mayo fans a hope that they could still lift Sam Maguire. Mike Frank Russell kicked 2, and Kerry, who should have been way ahead at half-time, find themselves in the lead by just 6 points. The half-time score at Croke Park shows Kerry the leaders. Well, that is an amazing first half. Half-time score then, Kerry 3-8, Mayo 3 goals and 2.
They're ready to go for the second half here at Croke Park in the All-Ireland football final. It's Kerry that lead, 3-8 to 3-2. Anything could happen in this game, and probably will. Let's go back to Ger Canning and Martin Carney.
Well, the first thing that's happened, Michael, is that there's a change in the Kerry team. Tomas O'Shea has got off, been replaced by Owen Brosnan. And it's interesting, Jack O'Connor is in charge for the 46th time big match today in League and Championship, and Owen Brosnan has figured in every one of Jack O'Shea's games while he did manager. He's the only one to have that 100% record, as it were. He started 43 and now he's come on as sub for the 3rd time. 6 points the difference. It was 12 at its worst. So now, in this amazing game, what's going to happen next? Owen Brosnan straight into the fray. What a run by Brosnan. Patar tracking him off the post. Comes down to Keith Higgins, however. Opportunity then for Mayo to construct something, but a little pressure being exerted as Higgins brings it out. And it's going to be interesting to see to what extent the two back lines come to terms with the threat posed by the forwards, in particular the Mayo backs. Billy Joe Padden enterprisingly across here to Kevin O'Neill, who's had 5 shots at the target and scored 2 goals. Mike McCarthy. Once again they work it to Dara O'Shea. Tommy Griffin has gone back into the back line. He's gone to left half back where he's picking up Billy Joe Padden. Meanwhile, it's David Brady, the first half sub for Mayo, their only sub so far. That's touched there by David Heaney. Heaney up with the attack. Conor Mortimer, one of those who didn't score so far. Kevin O'Neill, who we've mentioned. That's a great take by Seamus Moynihan ahead of his goalkeeper Diarmuid Murphy, and under sustained pressure. Great piece of defending. He took on responsibility.
Great responsibility, great authority that time by Moynihan. And incidentally, just one interesting switch there. Tommy Griffin has got in wing back actually instead of Tomas O'Shea.
Brosnan worked out here to Tommy Griffin. Dara O'Shea now has Owen Brosnan at midfield alongside him. That's Mark O'Shea. Declan O'Sullivan, a goal and a point from the first half. He's got a support player outside and inside. Oh, it was the one place he didn't want to hit it to, and he gives it to Keith Higgins. Bad judgment that time. Billy Joe Padden, one of those to get more and more into the game, has to. Paul Galvin. Colm Cooper, the gooch, holding on to it. Aidan O'Mahony lazily ahead. David Heaney reading it. They're 6 points down in this kind of a game where there are so many goals. You never know. It's possible.
Yeah, they're beginning to get a toehold all right, but again they need a lot more movement up front. Conor Mortimer is finding it difficult to get away from his man.
Looking to get his first score, like Alan Dillon, like Ger Brady. Angling it in, Diarmuid Murphy drops it down, but again there's a support player, Mike McCarthy. Mark O'Shea. This is normally the time in the game when Kerry really put on the extra gear and become even more dominant, more assertive. The opening 10-15 minutes of the second half. Sean O'Sullivan, beautiful ball down along the line. Mike Frank Russell making a good run. Donaghy here in support. The other member of the full forward line coming in here, Colm Cooper. The angled shot brilliantly dispatched over the bar, and that's a goal and a point now for Colm Cooper. The point matching the goal he got after 26 minutes. And now it's 3-9 to 3-2.
Yeah, for a player who started off very poorly in the championship, he's really found his form in that game, and that's a beautiful score, running away from the goals, curling it in with his right foot, playing very confidently today.
Short kick out this time, going straight to Ger Brady. Can be a very pacey player. Well, there's a lot of pulling, a lot of dragging, the ball runs on, and in the end it is knocked away by Mike McCarthy, out for a 45, but there was a bit of a jersey pull, I think, as well, in the build-up to all of that. Interesting to see just what the referee is going to do.
Yeah, he's gone down actually to the I think there's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. I think Mortimer is pulling out of Tom O'Sullivan as much as the other way around, and I think he's just going into his part of the clarification on it, but I think he's still let the 45 run.
So the 45 will be taken by Kieran MacDonald, about whom there was, as we mentioned at the beginning of the match, a doubt. Was it a hamstring injury? It was couched in mystery, but looking the way he was moving in the first half, I have to say he wasn't moving as freely or as fit looking as he should have been for this level of competition. Biggest day of the year. MacDonald from Cross Molina. An important kick now, and he has missed it badly. Never caught it as purely as he wanted.
Yeah, he's very disappointed in that one. Didn't connect with it at all, and again there wasn't any forwards actually in there giving him a run to give him an option, but he'll be disappointed with that.
So a further meeting taking place here. Interesting that they didn't make any changes at half-time. Maybe they felt the tide was turning in Mayo's direction with that late rally in the first half. Diarmuid Murphy broken down once again by Dara O'Shea. Brosnan coming onto it, picking up the little pieces of scrap. David Heaney, again bundled out of it by Paul Galvin. This is what he does so well, hardly noticed on occasions. He'll pick the ball out of another player's hands, moving almost away from goal as he does it. Declan O'Sullivan controlling it again. Leisurely stroke down into the corner here. Colm Cooper taking on Keith Higgins. Cooper going this way and that, still holding it. Keith Higgins still sticking to his task. The object of the exercise making sure they don't give a goal away, and the elbow was raised that time by Aidan Higgins, and it all builds up and gets a little bit nasty. Donaghy getting involved as well, and the referee coming in to calm down proceedings.
Yeah, both Donaghy, I think it's David Brady and Gooch are both done. Gooch very heavily tackled that time by a number of Mayo defenders. Again, deservedly got a free in. Then I think there was a little bit of afters with Kieran Donaghy, maybe through a belt, and again a little bit of hell broke loose.
It's something now which the umpires may have had a good view of. Watch on the right hand side, and you can see Donaghy coming in there on David Brady.
Yeah, again, Aidan Higgins got Gooch quite heavily that time. But again, obviously Donaghy comes in that time, throws a punch on Brady. Down Brady goes. Higgins retaliates. Again, Donaghy could be in trouble here.
It got very, very physical indeed. As you watch the pictures, we're keeping an eye on the referee just to see what he's planning to do.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Gooch got a very, very hard tackle that time, I think, from Aidan Higgins. There was a couple of them in it. I think David Brady got him also. But again, I think it was the afters with Donaghy coming in that actually caused a little bit of mayhem in there.
Well, I think it was a raised elbow by Aidan Higgins onto Colm Cooper that's set all of that in motion. And the ice pack now being applied. This is watch number 5 now. There you are. There's the raised elbow.
Yeah, certainly his head got a belt in the head that time. Whether it was a raised elbow or shoulder, it's hard to make out from that. Donaghy then came in, and again the referee will take action, I think, when everything cools down.
Well, it was a raised elbow as far as I could see.
Yeah, and definitely there was a sandwich there, and again
then Donaghy right in on top of David Brady.
Yeah, there was a raised elbow there, all right, and definitely got Gooch in the face.
Well, I don't know why the referee is taking so long about it, because Gooch is on the ground. He's not the guilty party by any manner of means. He was very much the injured party. David Brady, is he the man? Now he looks for somebody else. He looks for Donaghy. Kieran Donaghy being called. And who else is going to go across? It's going to be David Brady. So the two big men. Important moment for the referee. And the person who started all of that, of course, was Aidan Higgins. And I wonder, is the referee going to take any action whatsoever against the Charlestown player for the foul on Cooper?
Oh, I think by his demeanour, he'd be giving both of them a yellow card.
David Brady had moved away, but now he's going to see the card. It's yellow. So 1 per team. Kerry now with 2 yellow cards. Tom O'Sullivan got a yellow card much earlier on, and the referee's going to restart the game. 7 points between them. Higgins gets away with it. Referee going to throw it in. McGarity and Donaghy ready for duty. He's got to change his mind and move it elsewhere. Higgins is in there contesting. Falls down to Galvin. Again, nice tight control by Paul Galvin. Picking out Mike Frank Russell. From Dara O'Shea to his brother Mark. Remember, Tomas has gone off the team. Curled in right into the goalkeeper, David Clark. Chance to restart for Mayo. Haven't managed to get a score in the opening 9.5 minutes of the second half. At that stage there were 6 behind. Tyler Gardner. Looks like they're going to have to go for goals again. Alan Dillon, who has been virtually anonymous in this game. Higgins, 10 back. Finally freed out as far as Billy Joe Padden. Trying to get by. Griffin came in. Before that, Brosnan had come in. The referee, I think, had put the whistle to his lips after the first challenge. Free kick awarded to Mayo.
Yeah, again, Tommy Griffin was perfectly entitled, I think, to go for that ball. Again, Tyler Gardner, I think, miscontrolled the ball. Okay, it was certainly a foul, but Griffin was totally within his rights to go for it.
This is what followed on next, but it was before that Brosnan was in challenging. Free kick anyway awarded to Kieran MacDonald. 1 point so far from a free, that from the first half. This from the 45, and that has gone well away to the target. Drifts away to the right of the post.
Well, I suppose the scoring sequence has dried up in a big way, and I noticed McDonald is beginning to hold the hamstring there a little bit. Again, just one score after 10 minutes in the second half. A bit of a respite actually from the goal fest that we had in the first half.
A couple of Mayo players are being prepared down on the sideline. One of them is Barry Moran. Might be time for change pretty soon for Mayo. Pat Hart, Kieran MacDonald. Holding it up, waiting for the challenges to come. And they come eventually. O'Mahony in there challenging, and they win the ball back. It's turned over. Donaghy here, challenged by David Brady. Again, Owen Brosnan holding on to it, looking for a shot, getting a wonderful point. A position where Mayo had the ball. The ball was lost, turned over, and finished with some style by Owen Brosnan, the second half substitute. That from a fair old distance out, 3-10 to 3-2. Donaghy down on the ground once again. And this time the referee is having words again with David Brady. He's already yellow carded him. Didn't see anything else happen there, not a black notebook shown or anything. Well, there's the new player in, Barry Moran from Castlebar. And also coming in, Trevor Mortimer. Donaghy's okay, limping back into the action.
Yeah, what's interesting actually is they've taken off Kevin O'Neill in all of this, so I'd say it's going to be a change of tactics. Mayo are going to start putting high ball into Barry Moran, who's 6'5", again quite capable of playing a full forward. They'll probably try and bring Kevin O'Neill in then very late in the game.
Barry Moran's a very young player. Patter Gardner on towards Kieran MacDonald, letting fly, and it zips to the left this time, and he's had an awful time in the second half. 3 misses from 3 shots, 2 of them from frees. Still 3-10 to 3-2.
Kieran. Again, a great pass that time from Tyler Gardner. Kieran's on the run, again looks up, again takes the ball off the outside of the foot. Will be very frustrated with that. Like 3 great opportunities for Mayo to have brought the game back to a 5-point game. He has missed the 3 of them.
They come again. The broken ball in the centre of the field, again won by Kerry, by Owen Brosnan. Galvin once again, picking up all of the scraps. Pass not a good one. Ger Brady was anticipating. So many mistakes in this All-Ireland final, but it's still there to be won. Back to MacDonald, checking, looking for somebody else, I think, to take the leadership and make the passes easy. It's Seamus Moynihan who was anticipating. Moynihan so quick over 5 metres still. O'Sullivan, lovely balance, good control. O'Sullivan coming, that's the other O'Sullivan, Tom O'Sullivan. And yet another one, Sean O'Sullivan. O'Shea now, down to Colm Cooper. The marking just so slack. Dara O'Shea away from Ronan McGarrity, who hasn't exerted the big influence that Mayo had hoped he might. Pat Hart, a goal scorer in the first half. Under pressure straight away here. It's Brosnan once again. Well, he shows that he really is up for it. So disappointed to have lost his place in the starting 15. Trevor Mortimer with the challenge.
Yeah, I must say he's made a fantastic contribution since he's come in. He's both foraged and scored. Again, been involved in so much that's good with Kerry at the moment, as has indeed the wing half forward Paul Gavin, who's really hoovered up everything around the middle of the field throughout the game, Ger.
That's a yellow card for Trevor Mortimer just minutes after coming on. He's operating around the middle of the field into the half forward line. They can't get the ball back. Brosnan and company. This time Owen Brosnan giving it away rather easily to Keith Higgins. Crowd want to see some fireworks. They've worked hard to get their match tickets. They really want to see a match here. That's a shoulder there by Trevor Mortimer. It's on Mike McCarthy. Line ball given to Kerry, taken very quickly. Sean O'Sullivan picking out Tommy Griffin here, the man from Undangan. One of his coaches, former teachers, Liam Higgins, watching at home in Kerry this afternoon. Wished well by everybody. So Sean O'Sullivan just opting to leave this one. No particular hurry now at this stage. Kerry are thinking of another change, yet another O'Sullivan, Darren O'Sullivan, about to come into the action. Seamus Moynihan, big one down, this time from David Brady to Keith Higgins. They work it to Patter Gardner. Loose player here now is Ger Brady. Inside to Patter Gardner. Oh, going the wrong way. And then two Mayo players combine to lose it between them. Trevor Mortimer and Ger Brady, complete mix-up. And Kerry gratefully get the ball out to Galvin once again.
Sums up the day in many ways. So much confusion when they attack. Again, they brought a big man in full forward, Barry Moore. They haven't once tried to hit him with a high ball. That time players getting in their own way just mess up a potentially promising attack.
Promising indeed. It's 16 minutes of the second half and Mayo haven't scored in the half so far. Gooch is once again a bother for Keith Higgins. Getting it on to his left or right, he's dynamic. Colm Cooper has got a goal and 2 points, and the fans are absolutely deliriously happy. 3 scores from 4 shots at the target. This is Cooper. You never know when you've got him beaten. He can go right, he can go left, but he's always precise in his shooting. 3-11 now for Kerry, 3-2 for Mayo.
Yeah, quality always comes to the top, and again Cooper has been fantastic, and then with every opportunity he's got today, his work off the ball is immense, his accuracy of either foot is always devastating. A great score for Colm Cooper and for Kerry.
Aidan Kilcoyne coming on, 4 points in the championship so far. He comes on as a replacement. Billy Joe Padden. Darren O'Sullivan is on for Sean O'Sullivan. It's a game where the normal conventions of All-Ireland football final day have just gone out the window from a very early stage, as Kerry's forward line simply blew an inept Mayo backline to pieces, and then they went to sleep themselves and allowed Mayo back into it. But in the second half, well, in spite of Mayo's best efforts now, Kerry look comfortable. Aidan Higgins, Trevor Mortimer wrestled to the ground, and who's in at the end of it? Paul Galvin.
Yeah, but credit Galvin, he's doing wonderful work for Kerry, getting back that time to act as an extra defender, and that time, okay, I think Trevor Mortimer was quite clever in drawing the foul from him.
He's like a terrier, isn't he?
Oh, a little wasp as well.
Amazing.
Just watch it, leaves the hand in, tries to get the ball off, and Trevor makes sure that he holds on to the hand and earns the free.
And the teacher from Colosh to Creus 3 in Cork is being spoken to, and there'll be a notebook shown for that for Paul Galvin. So, free to Conor Mortimer. Yet another awful All-Ireland final day experience for him so far. Happened in 2004 and it's been replicated this year. This will be his first score in the match. It's gone over. 3-11 now to 3-3. In front of 82,289 spectators. Mickey Moran's dream, well, it's not looking too strong right now.
Well, the only thing so far in the second half, there have only been 4 scores, admittedly 3 of them from Kerry. Mayo are making more of a contest in this half, but it's certainly a case of trying to kind of, bolt the stable door after the horse has fled.
Well, our stats expert Tim McCarthy tells me that it's the first score for Mayo in 19 minutes. Aidan Kilcoyne dragged back. Free kick awarded to his team. Aidan Higgins the taker. Ronan McGarity. Huge one in, bouncing all the way. Well, I think Colm O'Rourke called it at half-time a kind of surreal experience. It is that. There are times when you wonder, are the 82,000 people in here cheering, or what are they doing? Just settling back, relaxing, watching Kerry at their best on occasions, mesmerising Mayo, and again they torment the Connacht champions. Paul Galvin. Some Mayo people were saying to me in the build-up to this final, how come every time we get to a final it's Kerry, or it's one of the big superpowers of Gaelic football? MacDonald to space, Moynihan coming across, getting there ahead of Kilcoyne. He's like a sweeper in front of the back line. Wherever there's a hole or a gap, that's where you'll find Moynihan. One of the great backs, I think, of the last 25 years.
Superb reading of the situation again that time. Again, maybe old legs, but a wise head and great anticipation.
Mike McCarthy fancying his chances up there. Likewise, Mike Frank Russell. Darren O'Sullivan got a goal against Armagh. Looking for a point here, almost forced over the line there. Donaghy was in on top of David Clark. But instead it's David Brady, Trevor Mortimer, Kieran MacDonald, all those names you'll have been familiar with and heard about in the All-Ireland finals in the past. Same old story for Mayo, unfortunately, from their point of view.
Yeah, again, sometimes they're bringing the ball into tackles far too much, not trying to kind of kick the ball. Their overuse of the hand pass actually has caused them an awful lot of trouble today.
It's a ticking for Declan O'Sullivan. Referee wanting the Moirishka for Mayo back out of the field. Kieran MacDonald, it's a real hopeless one. The game has just gone to pot completely, if that was possible. Mark O'Shea. And Trevor Mortimer trying to close him down. Here's Aidan O'Mahony. He's stuck to his task. His task was to limit the effectiveness of Kieran MacDonald. He has done that, and he's come up to kick what is his second point. He's marking MacDonald. He's gone up to kick 2 points. MacDonald himself has kicked only one from a free. 2 from 3 is Aidan O'Mahony's record this afternoon. 3 shots at the target. This the third. 9 points the margin.
Yeah, they have greater talent, Kerry, there's no doubt about it, but they have a greater application on the day, and their strength and endurance levels seem to be much higher than Mayo's, who for some reason again have left their best form at the semi-final. That seemed to have been their high water mark. Today it has been a massive disappointment for them.
Well, they're concerned about Colm Cooper, possible double vision, mild concussion as well. Team Dr. Dave Guinea in there as well with Sarah Hobbs, who's the physio. Jack O'Connor will be very, very pleased indeed, as well he might. Johnny Cullity, Ger O'Keefe there as well. The selectors. It's very much been their day, and that's been the case from a very, very early stage in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that early blitzkrieg during the first half really paid with any opportunities Mayo had. Again, just watch this time. Again, he gets hit very hard with that shoulder in that earlier incident. And again, I feel myself since then he's probably been suffering from a little bit of concussion.
I wonder what they're making of it. Mayo and Kerry fans. I wonder what a particular man called John Crosby is making it. He's from Wexford, living in Offaly. He's attending his 109th All-Ireland final this afternoon. He'll have seen better. David Clark. And again, Kerry get the decision. Darren O'Sullivan over there. And Mayo have an injured player. It's Peter Gardner. That half-back line, much maligned. Difficulties been experienced from the very word go in the match. But Mayo were experiencing real problems from 3:30 this afternoon. Some people can't bear to watch. I know. How do you think we feel?
Well, it's been a very disappointing game indeed, and again, what you can't take from the quality that Kerry have. Again, you know, they started the year very poorly, both against Waterford and against Tipperary. Again, just watch Peter Gardner this time, probably maybe either cramped or tore a leg muscle, but now we've a bit of trouble up at the far side of the field, which is totally unnecessary.
Well, this is very, very unnecessary. Mayo have used 4 subs at this stage. The scrum is now moving up towards the 13-metre line.
Like, that's crazy stuff what's going on. There's no need for that whatsoever.
Frustrating from a Mayo point of view, but they have known the score. They had 3 weeks to prepare for this challenge of Kerry. Did they underestimate Kerry? Did they think that Kerry were going to go back to the kind of side that we saw up to the time they played Longford, lacking sharpness? Because they've come back strongly ever since that second half against Armagh.
Yeah, no, I don't think they couldn't have possibly underestimated the challenge. They have played Kerry last year and the year before in the championship. Both times, you know, got well beaten in 2004, ran them to 3 points last year, beat them in the National League earlier this year. But just on the day, Kerry have been superb, and Mayo, for whatever reason, have looked quite lethargic throughout the field. And again, just don't have the legs, don't have the stamina, don't seem to have the firepower, don't have the application that the Kerry players are, nor the skill nor the quality.
Peter Gardner is now the latest to go off, literally, and he's been replaced by Andy Moran. It's interesting how Mickey Moran, his namesake, didn't make the early changes in the forward line, because the problems really were elsewhere, trying to get the ball, winning the ball at the back, controlling midfield, or attempting to do so. Well, the umpire has the linesman rather, has alerted Brian Crowe to what happened, and he has called Paul Galvin. You saw him being ticked earlier on, so it's now going to be a card, and the colour is yellow.
You know, I didn't see what happened, Ger, but again, there seemed to be something said or something happened out there. But Paul Galvin, David Brady, a number of them are involved in it. It's quite unnecessary at this stage of the game.
Well, I wonder if we can see from the pictures here. Galvin coming in. Yep, there he goes to Ronan McGarity.
There may have been more pass between Ronan McGarity and Gooch, but there's no need for the follow-up to it.
Donaghy again. This time it's won by David Brady. Challenged by Galvin. He's battling for everything. Love him or hate him, and Kerry fans absolutely love him. And this time Aidan Higgins has been called aside by the match referee. Hasn't been spoken to so far.
Probably was looking to get away with it earlier on in that first incident with Gooch, but now definitely this time I think he'll incur a red card or a yellow card.
Mike Frank Russell has been replaced by Brian Sheehan as there's a yellow card handed out there to Aidan Higgins. So that's now a total of, I think it is 3 yellow cards for Mayo players. Mike Frank Russell gets a huge ovation from a very appreciative Kerry fan base in Croke Park. He's done his job, played a huge part. Brian Sheehan, who comes into this game as leading scorer, incidentally, 24 points in the championship so far. Had injury difficulties. So Galvin, I think, opting to leave this one for the new man in, the free taker from St Mary's, South Kerry, Maurice Fitzgerald club. David Clark's goal has been bombarded from time to time, in particular in the first half. Nice, easy style, beautiful delivery, and a point for Brian Sheehan from a free with his very first kick. And so the margin is now 10 points, and it's also reminiscent of 2004 all over again. The second half has had a real unreal feel about this. From an early stage it was pretty obvious that Mayo were not going to be able to bridge the 6-point gap. Kerry mean business. Colm Cooper has Darren O'Sullivan ahead of him, slips by Aidan Higgins. A master in control, Brosnan trying to come in, and Brosnan dragged back his immediate opponent there. David Brady. Here's David Heaney. Trevor Mortimer wasn't a factor in this year's championship up to this point here. Holding it up. Well, free kick has been signalled for Mayo. They'll take anything that's going at this stage, just to try and put a bit more respectability on the final scoreline. Yeah, tough day, very tough day, and then you've got all these lovely Kerry fans behind you, unbiased, because they don't care who Kerry beat. Kilcoyne kicking, contested strongly in there, and Donaghy is back, Galvin's back, and Mark O'Shea gets it away. Little slip once again. Keith Higgins stayed up with the attack, didn't come up for Kieran MacDonald. Galvin again trying to force it away, so too a couple of other Kerry players, and in the end it is Declan O'Sullivan who's down under the weight of the challenge. Just 5.5 minutes now remaining in this All-Ireland football final of 2006. One Kerry will remember for a long time, one Mayo will want to forget.
Yeah, again, you asked me earlier, Ger, how Mayo went and managed to beat Dublin in the semi-final. I suppose it was because 4 of the forwards played very well that day. Ger Brady, Alan Dillon, Kieran MacDonald, Conor Mortimer and Kevin O'Neill when he came on as a sub. Alan Dillon really had a really stinker today, but also I think at the back, Mayo's deficiencies at the back weren't exposed by Dublin that day. Conceded 5 goaling chances, Dublin took only 2. Again, Kerry have been absolutely clinical today when they got the opportunities for goals.
From a neutral's point of view, Martin, it's just as well Mayo got those goals in the first half, you know. Second half chances converted, 5 out of 8, 1 out of 6. Mayo with only 1 point in the second half so far. Trevor Mortimer. Ger Brady now. kicking under pressure. That's the kind of pressure that Kerry have been exerting, but that time he was pushing. And Ger Brady fouled, free kick on the 13-metre line. Couldn't be on the spot where it landed, which was close to the end line, so out on the 13-metre line. And some of the Mayo fans have long journeys to go to places like Crossmolina and Ballintubber and all the other places west of the Shannon. Not their day. This to put 9 between them. Conor Mortimer has got a second pointed free. .313 to 3-4. Well, interesting, of Mayo's 4 points of that tally you see up in the top left-hand corner, only one is from play. That was by Billy Joe Padden in the first half. Tommy Griffin is replaced by Eamon Fitzmaurice. Big cheer for Eamon, getting a chance to come in for his 47th championship appearance for the Kingdom. Somebody asked me last night, why are Kerry so good at Gaelic football? It's an absolute religion there.
Well, it's a religion, Ger, but to be fair to them, they're practicers. They're active practitioners of the religion. Again, it's religion in Mayo also, but unfortunately the effort certainly wasn't up to what Kerry had today.
Well, Kerry seemed to have the greater number of believers as O'Sullivan chips it brilliantly over the bar. Smashing score. Goal and 2 for Declan O'Sullivan, the captain. All the questions that were being asked about bringing him back into the team. 3 from 3 is his tally, justifying his recall into the side, and he's playing a captain's part. But in fairness, it's been easy this afternoon because Mayo have been awful.
Yeah, but one of the things that I admire about Kerry is that even though they're well ahead, they keep kind of turning the screw. They keep their effort going. They're continuing to attack at every opportunity, and they're as tight in defence as they were at the beginning of the game.
Some more paperwork. Fitzmaurice. 2 yellow cards then dished out. It's Aidan Kilcoyne, and again the other substitute there, also getting himself a little yellow. Well, the next big match for Kerry after all of this will be the Gold Challenge on Wednesday in Tralee at 8 o'clock. South Kerry, the county champions, will be playing the All-Ireland champions, and you know who that is going to be at this stage. The proceeds will go to alleviate the suffering among the poor and the vulnerable in Darfur, a very worthy charity. Tom O'Sullivan, Mark O'Shea, 10 points the difference. Brian Sheehan there, just slipping. You see that Conor Mortimer chased back after him. Colm Cooper thought about taking on Dermot Geraghty and then ran into the challenge of Keith Higgins. Well, Keith Higgins will hopefully have learned an awful lot by this experience and by his first year of senior competitive action. He's one of the promising players of the future, but it's hard to know where Mayo go from here. They qualified for the final. They had a marvellous victory against Dublin, but it's all fallen flat in the final, and sadly they're going to be remembered at the end for this performance here. Kilcoyne, lovely intervention again. Brosnan, the 15 who started, the 5 who've come on, playing wonderful football, and that is Donaghy, and that is sublime. He punches the air, the fans do likewise. A goal and 2 for Kieran Donaghy. 3 shots, 3 scores. What about this? Nobody near him. Heaney late getting there. Anyway, Donaghy is a very skilled practitioner. Off the post and over. Yeah,
again, they're authors of their own misfortune. Again, Mayo running into traffic with the ball. Short hand pass being intercepted. Again, simple ball out to Donaghy. Looks up, shoots in off the post. Great score. And again, it's to be fair to Donaghy, it's appropriate that he franks a fine performance which what could be the last score of the game.
Brendan Guiney comes in. He also came in as a sub in the 2004 final, and that is now the 5th sub. And Aidan O'Mahony comes off, coming in to share in the glory that is the day for the Kingdom. They had 34 titles coming into this. Sam Maguire is heading back for Killarney and Tralee. At least 4 minutes of extra agony from a Mayo point of view. Galvin again goes forward. A little bit of misunderstanding back there, but in the end it's taken up Andy Moran with David Heaney. Moran again, funneled out as far as Keith Higgins. David Brady held up by Darren O'Sullivan. An 11-point victory so far. Moynihan back. So, as Kerry win it back once again, about to win their 34th All-Ireland title. The kingdom, very much the kings of Gaelic football. And now it really is turning on the style time once more. Toying with Mayo, Dermot Geraghty, to his credit, battling manfully with Brosnan, who was in on goal, and the goalkeeper stops initially but not the second time, and Owen Brosnan has just kicked his 13th goal in championship football in the 72nd minute. Big smile on the face of the Killarney solicitor, and this is an absolute destruction job on the part of Kerry over hapless Mayo, and it's 4-15 to 3-4.
Once upon a time they had the Valentine's Day massacre, but this is an absolute massacre today. And again, a fine goal taken by Brosnan, but Mayo simply just have given up.
Ger Brady, we're only halfway through the 4 minutes of added time. Aidan Kilcoyne, another from the under-21 side, dragged down free on the 30-metre line. Seamus Moynihan has been inclined to do that this season, making sure there won't be any shot at goal, so he's prepared to get cards and little ticks. He's already had a ticking, so it's a yellow card for Moynihan. Another one for the post-match statistics. Conor Mortimer thought about a quick one there. At half-time of the 2004 final, I remember Liam McHale, one of the selectors, talking in terms of damage limitation. It's been that way for a long time in this game, very sadly.
Yeah, and again, regrettably, they've only had 2 scores in the second half. Early on, when they had a couple of opportunities, to draw level, they failed those, and again, the half has been a disaster for them.
Mickey Moran, first year in charge, looking ahead to his second year as coach of Mayo. Jack O'Connor, his 46th match, big match in charge. 21st time in charge here at Croke Park, incidentally, today. All of the statistics. 1 minute to go now as he puffs out some air and just waits for that final whistle. So still about 30 seconds to go, and still it is Kerry, and still they go forward. Galvin waiting for it. The referee, I think, will blow the whistle in the agony for the Connacht champions, because the kingdom, Kerry, are All-Ireland football champions 2006. They have destroyed Mayo. An outstanding performance by Jack O'Connor's team. They came in as favourites. They were prepared to take that responsibility on their shoulders. They opened up huge gaps at the back from an early stage, and Kieran MacDonald once again plays in a final and loses to Kerry. It's tough for him. Kieran Donaghy were superb, his team's superb this afternoon. It's a familiar picture for the third time this decade. Kerry are champions. The Gooch and Declan O'Sullivan lifting Sam Maguire. It's going to Kerry in 2006.